Hello and welcome to another edition of Metropolitan Sports Radio. Quite a few things have happened in baseball so far for the hot stove season, which I always find very interesting. A lot of people can't wait till opening day, but all this roster moving and all these players moving, I find it very interesting. And this year there's a very strong class of free agents, a lot of free agents, so hopefully we'll have a very exciting one. The free agent signing front's been relatively quiet so far. We've we've had quite a few trades though, with the Red Sox making one big one, trading for Craig Kimbrell. They sent over four prospects. A lot of people think they gave up too much for Kimbrell, but I personally think, I think they gave up their number three prospect in their farm system. But I think that the Red Sox desperately needed bullpen help. It was terrible. Dombrowski had a reputation of kind of, his farm system. He'd normally trade away the farm, and his bullpens, uh, as evident with the Tigers, have not been that great. So it's very nice to see that he's taken some time and worked on the bullpen. So now with Tazawa, Koji, and um, Koji, and Kimbrel closing the door. Red Sox games are the Red Sox have one of the best 1-2-3 punches at the back end of their bullpen. Of course, Kimbrel being a great closer, one of the best in the game, and Koji being a very elite reliever. So, and plus they have 3 years of Craig Kimbrel, so I think 3 years of team control over the shutdown relievers, very good, especially with the Red Sox situation. I think with this trade, they filled a huge void in their bullpen. But we'll have to see how he fares in the American League. Of course, he's always been a National League guy. So
Seems like the closers have gone first, huh, Jamie? Because Dabrowski's old team also made the other big move.
yeah, Tigers traded for Francisco Rodriguez. Um, no, I guess they went for not a top tier closer, sort of second tier. The rumor around that was originally they were going to go after Drew Storen and Jonathan Papelbon, as it seems like the Nationals are now content, or they would like to trade two of their relievers and completely remodel their bullpen. As Jonathan Papelbon had this huge choking incident in the dugout with their star player Bryce Harper, and Drew Storen, of course, blew up late in the season against the Mets and got injured himself punching the locker. Just for a recap of that, but those are a few things that. So the big trade so far, or the biggest thing, is probably the Craig Kimbrel trade. Of
Hmm.
course, today's news: the A's reacquired Jed Lowry after he signed with the Astros. Of course, the Astros have Carlos Correa, so they really don't need Lowry. Brett Lowry, sorry, Jed Lowry. The A's have Brett Lowry, so
Now
it
they're gonna
makes,
have Laurie and Lowry.
yeah, very interesting tongue twister. Um, yeah, so that's what's happened today. Of course, the A's with that trade, Billy Beane making another trade. Jet Lowry was with them 2 years ago when they won, when they were in the postseason. So we'll see what he brings to the A's. Of course, after having great team chemistry, the Athletics last year reports of the team having terrible team chemistry. So we'll see how Billy Beane will remodel this whole thing. And Billy Beane, he's known for not really caring about this. Even he's kind of he addressed the issue slightly after the A's were out of contention after the season ended.
And the Tigers were involved in the other big trade, I guess, for a position player, right? With Cameron Maybin going back
Yeah, to
to
Detroit.
them. Of course, Maybin was in their farm system when he was coming up. And the Braves, yet again, jettisoning another player as they look to completely rebuild themselves for their new stadium.
At this point though, I don't I don't think their stadium I don't think their stadium will. I don't. Their stadium's building in like what 20. It's gonna be completed in like 2017, I think. Based on their current state, I don't think anything is. Their team's not gonna be in contention next year.
Yeah, there's even rumors about them wanting to trade Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, so everyone with a contract beyond the season is on the trade block. It seems like they're gonna completely go into rebuild mode. So, of course, the Mets' bright years are coming ahead. The National League East will be the Mets and Nationals.
Yep, next year. The Marlins. The Marlins have some talent, but they always seem to blow themselves up a bit. There's even talk now that Jose Fernandez wants out of Miami because of a fight that he's having, that his agent's having with the Marlins. And
of course, very similar to Matt Harvey. I think Scott Boras is ruining all these young pitchers. He's really wrecking their reputation and their team.
Yeah, but I don't know about this case. I think the Miami Marlins ownership, shown themselves to be very difficult to deal with. So,
of course, Scott Boras' other client, Marcell Ozuna. There were reports late last night here in Hong Kong. So in the morning, in the morning here in Hong Kong yesterday. So late, 2 nights ago in the States, of Marcell Ozuna and the Marlins and the Mariners talking about Ozuna because Ozuna is also represented by Scott Boras. So Scott Boras, the Marlins, of course, now they're in a terrible relationship, and
Jamie, maybe you should give the background of that because what happened in the middle of the season last year
Ozuna was
sent down to AAA after a slump, and
Scott Boras made this comment saying that the Major League fans deserve the best team on the field and not have one of their best players.
Well, I think Boras and Ozuna both thought that was done in order to reduce Ozuna's service time so that he'll be cheaper for the Marlins going forward. And in fact, who was it? Who was the Marlins manager? Their former GM, Dan. Anyway, he
Dan Duquette?
No, not Dan Duquette.
Oh, Dan Jennings.
Yeah, Dan Jennings. He lost his job basically because he stood up for Ozuna over this whole mess. So anyway, hopefully the Marlins will not be in the mix next year. So the Mets will just have to deal with the Nationals, and I think the teams to beat in the National League will again be a very strong Central Division. I think the Cubs probably have the edge this year, whether or not Jason Hayward signs with the Cardinals. And then the West is going to be strong again. The Dodgers, they may not get Zach Greinke back, but they'll get someone. And San Francisco will be strong. It'll be an even year. And rumors are that they're going for a big bat. In fact, Yoenis Cespedes is
not just a big bat. They're actually one of the top suitors for Zach Greinke right now. They're trying to pry him away from the Dodgers.
So that's going to be pretty interesting. So I think the National League is still going to be pretty strong. The Mets are going to be pretty well positioned, but there's going to be some pretty tough competition. And so the Mets really, I think, do need to think about upgrading their lineup. But I do agree with their strategy of not trading away their 5 aces. What do you think about that, Jimmy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Matt Harvey maybe later on. Of course, now rumors are talking. People are saying, "Oh, we should trade Harvey." Towards the middle of the season, or when the season was nearly ending, I already said, maybe we should trade Harvey. But now looking at it, I think if they're going after Ben Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, of course, has his bat and Daniel Murphy's is pretty similar, and his defense is better than Murph's.
Yeah.
So he'd be an upgrade over Murph, and he could be their bat. He could.
And he can play the outfield too, which gives him some flexibility.
Yeah, so he can.
The only problem with him is though he's 34, and I think he wants a 4-year deal. Murph is only 30, so there's an argument to say that if you're going to sign Zobrist, you might as well sign Murphy. But of course, the defense makes a big difference.
Yes, and of course Zobrist is an insurance policy for Wright because David Wright, you really can't count on him staying healthy the whole season anymore.
Murphy can play third though.
Yes, I guess so. Well, it also depends how much trust you want to put into Dilson Herrera.
Yep. Well, I think between they've got Herrera, they've got Flores, who can shift over to second if need be.